From what to do when a winter weather alert is issued,
to how to stay safe on wintry roads.
the Storm Team is preparing you right now before the season sets in.
We are the most experienced team in the Susquehanna Valley.
And this is our winter weather outlook. Welcome, I'm Chief Meteorologist Joe Calhoun.
And I'm meteorologist Christine Ferreira. Over the next half hour, we'll explain patterns that help us predict what's in store for the season, as well as how to stay safe and warm in the cold.
Well, meteorologist Ethan Houston right now kicks us off with some coverage of what types of winter storms we have here in the Susquehanna Valley.
We see the largest variety of weather during our winter months. However, the snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain are delivered mainly by just three types of winter storms. We call them the 3 C's: clippers, cutters, and coastals. Let's start with clippers. Clipper storms form to our northwest, often near the Canadian province of Alberta. They usually are fast movers, and the storms are named after the 19th century clipper ship, which was the fastest ship of its time. Clippers usually bring minor snowfall to the region and deliver a fresh blast of cold air as they move away. Next up are cutters. These are storms that first move into the deep south, draw in warm air and lots of moisture. Then they cut hard to the north and move toward the Midwest or the Ohio River Valley. Storms like these bring mostly rain to the Susquehanna Valley, but depending on the depth of cold air, they can bring some wintry mix during the storm's arrival. Finally, we have coastal storms. Like cutters, these storms first move into the deep south, gathering warm air and lots of moisture. Then they head north. If there is high pressure to block an inland track of the storm cannot cut straight to the north towards the Midwest or the Ohio River Valley. Instead, the storm will travel near or along the coast. That puts the Susquehanna Valley on the cold side of the storm, and that can mean a major snowstorm. But not all coastal storms are alike. A coastal storm that hugs the coast will pull in warmer ocean air, often bringing us more of a wintry mix than all snow. Coastal storms can move so far to the east that the Susquehanna Valley misses out on the storm entirely. The perfect track for a coastal storm to bring major snow to the region is a path that is about a few hundred miles off the coast. The biggest snowstorms of all time here in the Susquehanna Valley all came from coastal nor'easters, including the record-setting snowstorm of late January 2016, which produced 30.2 inches of snow in just 2 days. So be prepared for the WGAL News 8 Storm Team to talk about clippers, cutters, and coastals throughout the winter. Back to you.
Well, as Ethan said, those 3 C's, oftentimes the hardest things we have to forecast is the type of precipitation. Here's Storm Team meteorologist Mary Ellen Pan.
There are 4 basic types of precipitation we see in the winter: rain, freezing rain, sleet, and snow. And what type of precipitation we see is caused by the difference in temperature between the base of the clouds to the ground. Most precipitation in the winter starts as snow falling from the cloud. If the snow hits air above freezing, it begins to melt. If the column of air is above freezing from cloud to ground, we simply see rain. However, freezing rain occurs when snow travels through a large layer of warm air. It melts into rain. It then hits a very thin layer of ice-cold air at the surface, freezing on contact. This is when we see our ice storms. Sleet occurs when there is warmer air closer to the base of the cloud, not the ground. Snow falls through this wedge of warmer air, partially melts, and then refreezes as a small ice pellet before it hits the ground. And finally, when snow travels for all or most of its journey from the cloud to the ground with temperatures below freezing, we get snow. That means it is possible for temperatures at the surface to be above freezing and we still get snow. It is important to remember that 32 degrees is the melting and freezing temperature of water. That means all 4 precipitation types can exist when it's 32 degrees. Back to you.
Well, driving in winter weather conditions can be hazardous, and one particular weather event can even be deadly. And driving conditions can change in just seconds. Christine is here to tell us how to recognize that danger.
Snow squalls are intense, short-lived bursts of heavy snow. They are accompanied by gusty winds which cause blowing snow and quickly reduce visibility, leading to whiteout conditions. Snow-covered and slick roads result, which unfortunately may lead to large pile-up accidents. We've seen this several times in the Susquehanna Valley. So what do you do if you encounter a snow squall? Slow down, turn on your headlights and hazards so others can see you, and don't slam on your brakes as roads may be icy. The National Weather Service advises you to take the nearest exit off a highway or pull over where it's safe, like a parking lot or a driveway. Snow squall warnings began in 2018, and they look like this. The warning may be issued for multiple counties in the path of the squall. Warnings are typically short-lived, and if you live in the warning area, you may receive an emergency alert on your cell phone, similar to a tornado warning or a flash flood warning. Back to you.
When you hear snow, everybody wants to know how much, right? Well, in this social media age, you may start hearing all kinds of rumors about winter storms as much as weeks in advance. But here at WGAL, we strive to bring you accurate and timely weather information in a responsible manner. First, we'll give you a heads up in our 10-day outlook. But then there's the impacts of storms. When we see a storm that could start to give us some accumulations, that's when we tell you about the impact day. Well, we make an alert day when the storm could become more significant. Look for that red icon because snow could become even a little more dangerous. We get to within a couple of days of a storm, we'll start to try to categorize them. A low impact storm is, those nuisance kind with some accumulations, even during the peak hours. Near or during peak hours is when we start to look at those moderate impact storms. That's usually when I talk about a plowable snow. A high impact storm, that makes travel difficult. You could have significant delays during peak business hours. That's particularly dangerous. A more dangerous storm are those major storms. That's what Ethan talked about with those coastal storms, 12 inches or more. Timing doesn't matter. Those kind of storms really start to impact us. We get within a couple of days of the storm, then we'll start to show you where we think the heaviest storm totals will come. And then when we get down within that 24 to 48 hour time frame, that's when we'll start to show you specific amounts. The bottom line is we don't want to overhype you. We want to properly prepare you.
Before you head out this winter, there's a few things you need to know. I'll have all the tips so you can have a safe commute.
And as we head to the break, here is our first winter weather trivia question. When was the coldest winter on record? We'll have the answer right after this.